So, we arrive eventually at the less than startling discovery that so far as the poets are concerned, the First World War gets the thumbs down. We have the mountains of dead on both sides, right? Or hecatombs, as you all seem to have read somewhere. Anybody know what it means?
Great public sacrifice of many victims, originally of oxen.
Which, sir, since Wilfred Owen said men were dying like cattle, is the appropriate word.
True, but no need to look so smug about it. What else? Come on, tick 'em all off.
Trench warfare.
Barrenness of the strategy.
On both sides.
Stupidity of the general.
Donkeys, sir.
Hague, particularly.
Humiliation of Germany at Versailles. Redrawing of national borders.
Row in the Rhineland.
Mass unemployment. Inflation.
Collapse of the Weimar Republic. Internal disorder and the rise of Hitler.
So our overall conclusion is that the origins of the Second War lie in the unsatisfactory outcome of the First.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
First class. Bristol welcomes you with open arms. Manchester longs to have you. You can walk into Leeds. But I'm a fellow of Magdalen College, Oxford, and I have just read 70 papers all saying the same thing, and I'm asleep.
But it's all true.
What's that got to do with it? No, what's that got to do with anything? Let's go back to 1914, and I'll put you a different case. Try this for size. Germany does not want war. And if there is an arms race, it's Britain that's leading it. Though there's no reason why we should want war, nothing in it for us. Better stand back, let Germany and Russia fight it out while we take the imperial pickings. These are facts. So why do we not care to acknowledge them? The cattle. The body count. We still don't like to admit that the war was even partly our fault because so many of our people died. A photograph on every mantelpiece. And all this mourning has veiled the truth. It's not so much lest we forget as lest we remember. Because you should realise, so far as the cenotaph, the last post, all that stuff is concerned, there's no better way of forgetting something than by commemorating it. And Dakin.
Sir?
You were the one who was morally superior about Hague.
Well, Passchendaele. The Somme. He was a butcher, sir.
Yes, but at least he delivered the goods.
Sir, you can't
No, the real enemy to Hague's subsequent reputation was the unknown soldier. If Hague had had any sense, he'd have had him disinterred and shot all over again for giving comfort to the enemy.
So, what about the poets then?
Well, what about them? You see, if you read what they actually say, as distinct from what they write, most of them seem to have enjoyed the war. Siegfried Sassoon was a good officer. Saint Wilfred Owen couldn't wait to get back to his company. Both of them surprisingly bloodthirsty. Poetry is good up to a point, adds flavour.
Oh, it's the foreskins again, isn't it, sir? Bit of garnish.
But if you want to relate the politics to the war, forget Wilfred Owen and try Kipling.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah. If any question why we died, tell them because our fathers lied. In other words...
with respect, sir, can I stop you? With a poem or a work of art, you can never say in other words. If it's a work of art, there are no other words.
Yes, sir, that's why it's a work of art in the first place. You couldn't look at a Rembrandt and say, in other words, could you, sir?
What's the verdict then, sir? What do I write down?
Oh, you can write down, Rudge, that I must not write down every word that teacher says.
Right.
Oh, you can also write down that the First World War was a mistake. It was not a tragedy. And as for the truth scripts, which you were worrying about, truth is no more an issue in an examination than thirst at a wine tasting or fashion at a striptease.
You really believe this, sir, or are you just trying to make us think?
You can't explain away the poetry, sir.
No, sir. Art wins in the end.
What about this one, sir? Those long, uneven lines, standing as patiently as if they were stretched outside the Oval or Villa Park. The crowns of hats, the sun on moustached, archaic faces, grinning as if it were all an August bank holiday lark.
And never such innocence, never before or since, has changed itself to past without a word.
The men leaving the gardens tidy.
The thousands of marriages lasting a little while longer.
Never. Such innocence. Again.
How come you know all this by heart? Not that it answers the question.
So much for our glorious dead.
I know. Still, apropos Passchendaele, can I bring you up to speed on Fiona?
No.
Well, she's my Western Front. Last night, for instance, meeting only token resistance, I reconnoitred the ground. Are you interested in this?
No. Go on.
Well, as far as the actual place. I mean, not onto it, and certainly not into it, but up to it. At which point the Hun, if I may so characterise the fair Fiona, suddenly dug in. No further deployments were sanctioned, and around 2300 hours our forces withdrew. Well, like whereas I'd begun the evening thinking this might be the big push.
Oh, you do have a nice time.
Well, the beauty of it is the metaphor really fits. I mean, just as marching up to the front line, troops presumably had to pass the sites of previous battles, where every inch of territory had been hotly contested. Well, so it is with me. Like particularly her tits, which only fell after a prolonged campaign some 3 weeks ago, and to which I now have immediate access, and which were indeed the start line of last night's abortive thrust southward.
And I can't take any more. Enough.
Still, at least I'm doing better than Felix.
Felix?
Why? He doesn't...
He tries to. Chases her around the desk hoping to Copperfield.
Oh, no, don't think about
Well, he's only human.
Actually, the metaphor isn't exact, because what Fiona is presumably carrying out is a planned withdrawal. You're not forcing her, she's not being overwhelmed by superior forces. Does she like you?
Of course she likes me.
Then you're not disputing the territory, you're just negotiating over the pace of the occupation.
Just let us know when you get to Berlin.
I'm beginning to like him more.
Who, me?
Erwin. Though he hates me. See ya.
Oh, Scripsy, I can't bear to listen, but I want to hear every word. What does that mean?
He's a fool. And don't I know it?
Oh, ha ha.
But a fool can have his charms. I'm in love, and don't I show it like a babe in arms?
Love's the same old sad sensation. Lately I've not slept a wink since this half-pint imitation put me on the blink. I'm wild again, beguiled again, a simpering, whimpering child again, bewitched, bothered and bewildered am I. Lost my heart, but what of it? He is cold, I agree. He can laugh, but I love it, although the laugh's on me. I'll sing to him, each spring to him, and worship the trousers that cling to him. Bewitched, bothered and bewildered